Hi, I'm Evan Pantazi. I wanted to address an issue that came up on my YouTube channel today. Someone came on and said I was a snake oil salesman and that Kyusho was BS, and got into a little bit of a interesting discourse with them. And I tried to tell them that we've had real experiences. I've personally had three real experiences that I've accounted for before on YouTube here. But I asked him if I told him that if he didn't really train it, that he couldn't really make that assertion. And he came back and he said he experimented with it. Experimentation, folks, isn't training. It takes a long time. For example, say you're in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class. Now, nobody disputes that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu works and it can work in a real fight situation. They go into the class, they experiment with it, and then they go out and they think they can do it. Well, I hate to tell them, if they get a fight in a fight, they're not going to work their Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu if they just experimented a couple classes with it. Okay, it's not going to work so great for them. All right, they have to actually train it. But most people, they live in a little world of their own paradigm, which is just fine. But you can't go imposing the ideological aspects that you have on everybody just because you haven't experienced it before. Now, as an example, we've had many civilian people that we've trained that have used this for real, that saved them in an altercation, many law enforcement, emergency technicians, doctors, military personnel, and myself. I've had three altercations that I've used the Kyusho in, and it worked each time, and it worked great. So what is it that they don't understand? Well, they don't really research it. As I said, they don't train it. They may experiment with it, or they might, most likely, they look at a YouTube and they push on a point on themselves and say, it doesn't work, or they push on a friend and it doesn't work, or they try it a couple times, they try to hit it and it doesn't work for them, so they discount it because it's not working for them. Well, if they went under a qualified instructor and actually trained it for a period of time, yes, they'd understand that it works. All right, but this is what they see. When they do their martial art, okay, they look at their opponent. They see a head, they see a neck, they see a body, arms, legs, you name it. They see an outer shell. So what they do is they work with weapons that develop force to try to damage the exterior of the body and break an arm or ribs or crack a jaw or something of this nature. But again, that's because this is what they see. This is their reality. They never go beyond that reality. Now, for a Kyusho practitioner, we look at an opponent more like this. Yeah, we still see the head, we still see the body and the arms, but on it we start seeing structures. We see targets. Now, these targets you just can't strike conventionally. As example, this nerve in the neck right in through here. Okay, you'll have most people will take a karate chop and they'll come in with a blow that goes directly into the neck, and it doesn't work so good because that's not the way you attack that nerve. All right, or they'll take facial nerves, not a facial nerve. They just take a look at the shell. All they see is this. Okay, and they'll attack the head, okay, on a straight-on angle, let's say with a hook punch, okay, and that hook punch comes in this way, and it hits them straight on with the flat of their knuckles or their mitt or whatever they're wearing, and they get this broadside, okay, and with that broadside, what they're doing is they're striking into muscle, they're striking into bone. They're not really hitting the nerve as it should be. They're getting the nerve directly from the side, okay, and that's not the way to attack that nerve in particular. All right, so let's take a closer look, for example. Okay, this facial nerve right up and through here, there's several different ways you can attack this. All right, one would be coming up underneath it to pinch. See that cheekbone right in there? Let's get rid of this muscle here for a second. Let me get rid of that pencil. Let's get rid of this muscle. You got this cheekbone here. So you want to jam this nerve up underneath. So your targeting in your trajectory actually has to be in this direction. Okay, to pinch that nerve against that bone. Now, this bone is too far recessed. If we take a look at this guy from the front, we can see how recessed that is. This nerve is more akin to this level out here. Let's get this guy down here a little bit. Okay, so our job is to pinch this nerve up against that one, because this bone in here, the jawbone, is way too far in. All right, let's put the muscle back on him. And you can see that it's protected from a straight in shot, and there's also a hollow pocket back here. So when you do attack this nerve, you're just hitting it into nothing. All right, and it's so pliable, as well as the muscles here, that you're not going to pinch it against the bone. Now, if you came on the back of the jaw here and hit it, yes, you would be striking it. Look how close in proximity it is to that jawbone. So you could hit it against the back of that jaw. And we've seen that in the UFCs many, many times where that's actually worked very well. But again, this is one of the main problems. The martial artists don't see this. They don't see the targets. They don't see the way that the nerves go into the brain. They don't study the way that the nerves control the motor functions of the muscles of the arms, the legs, the body, the inside functionality, the consciousness of the human body. And all they see is basically this. All right, and they try to break it. They try to destroy it. And it's really hard to do that. And that's why many people don't think that this will work in a fight. Again, because they experiment. Now, let's add this for a second. Let me take this away. Then you add a secondary layer of targeting, like the blood vessels, which are deeper and they're more difficult to get to. But look at all that targeting you got on the human body. All right, let's take away the skeleton just here for a second. This is your targeting. Okay? And why they don't see it? Again, because they look at this. They don't see beyond the exterior. All they see for themselves is this exterior. If they looked at it like this, and then they started investigating what's really going on with nerves, blood vessels, muscles, in the spindle cells and the tendons, the Golgi tendon organs, then they'd understand that yes, this is real. Okay, if they listen to the videos instead of just picking up on one and bashing on it saying that's not real, and if they listen to the law enforcement agents that we've had attested them using it on the street or in prisons against the prison guards, against the prisoners, or even the civilians that we've dealt with using it in real altercations to get themselves out, and they listen to the doctors and what they have said about the nerves and the way it can incapacitate the human body, they would be more advised to start studying it instead. But they don't. Okay, they see instead only this. All right, and you need to get past this to get to this, and better yet, to get to this, and even better yet, to find your Kyusho targets. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.